Hello, it's Jason Pinto with interlinkONE with CEO John Foley Jr. John, welcome to the office.
Hey, thanks, Jason. It's good to be back.
You've been on the road a lot lately.
I sure have.
Primarily because of this, the book. John's been taking the book tour everywhere, not just across the U.S., but across the world. And lately you had an amazing experience. You were in Singapore.
I did. It was great. I got to go to Singapore, Jason. The government had me go there. I'll tell you a little bit about that later. But
Sure.
I got to go there to speak to about 80 printers, 78 printers in Singapore. Everybody from book published printers, export printers, commercial printers, digital. And it was a good experience. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. What would you say, I'm trying to think of what people here in the U.S., a lot of printers are facing similar circumstances to each other, but how are things different, or were they similar in Singapore for their printing industry?
Well, I think, well, first of all, they're very similar, right? I mean, it's not like the print business changes when you go to a different country. So they're very similar. The challenges are similar, and they might have a different flavor. For example, in the book publishing business over there, they're a little bit more impacted right now, right? Because they export a lot of business in terms of book publishing, right, and book printing. So that number is in decline. But so are the other numbers in terms of what they print and how communications are distributed, part of the things that I talk about. So
Sure, okay. Yeah. And so that kind of leads me to my next question. So certainly if they're facing those circumstances, you go there with a message. How did the printers there react to the content you provided to them?
Well, I mean, we've probably done enough of these videos that people know a lot of this content is about, business transformation and how to change that business, how and how to do these things in the roadmap. I thought it was well received, and it's not. I really get my how people think about it when they give me feedback, and usually the best feedback is when they want to stay and talk to you for a long period of time, and that happened, right after the event, and then I had meeting after meeting. I went into printers. I visited shops over there. They're great folks. They're very intensive workers. They work extremely hard, but again, so I think they were very well receptive. And some of these folks are actually making some diversification in their business in terms of offering marketing services as one thing, and maybe augmenting with digital if they were on the commercial side in printing, as an example.
That's great. I did have two questions. Thinking about maybe newer technologies for the print industry, social networking and QR codes. What was your kind of impression as to, are they using those things, or are they looking to use them?
Well, I will tell you, in the presentation I did, the latter part of my presentation was how to bring this new business to market, using marketing strategy. So I presented what I was going to speak about, and of course there was, it's heavily in online marketing, not for them to monetize that yet, but for them to use it to bring their companies to market, right, using social media as an example. And the individual I was working with, he was hesitant on how they would receive this, but I will tell you they are on board with it. They certainly know that they need to use these channels to reach audiences that are there, and some of them already are. And it was a great opportunity for them to listen to how they could improve it. And we talked about some fundamental stuff in LinkedIn, maybe as an example, all the way to why they should use YouTube and how they could use YouTube to present some of the things that they do. And I always like using the example on wide format printing. You don't show the printer, the press of wide format. You show the results of what it makes, and you can use that really, by doing that in video. So
absolutely,
they were all over it.
That's good. And I know the takeaway. I know a lot of the people that were there were able to pick up a copy of your book.
Yep, they all took a copy of the book. I've already got comments back saying how helpful it was to them, and it's what it was written for, right? To help them, transform their business and to be able to be a better service provider.
And for anyone that's listening that wants a copy, go to newpathtoprofit.com and you can pick up your own copy of the book to help your printing business. All right, John. Welcome back.
Thanks, Jason. All right, I appreciate it.